everybody, and welcome to Nerdsplaining Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Da Silva. With me, as always, my co-host, Jose
What it
Amaro.
is, what it was, what it shall be, nerds around the world. We're back.
You sound depressed about that. Usually it should be like, hey, what's going on? You're
I
like,
know. I'm like,
another day, another level of
we're
garbage we
so
gotta
far from
deal
the
with because we're
weekend. We're
nerds.
so far from the weekend. I'm like sad, depressed. That's okay.
It's
It's
like two
okay. It's
days for
okay.
the weekend.
That's still too long, dude.
I mean, I get it, but like,
You know what I'm saying. You know,
I get it,
you
but
want to
like,
be the
there's
next day. You
actually
want to be the next hour.
listen.
Midnight.
We've been more excited for less, and now we actually
That's
have stuff
fair.
to
That's
talk about that's
that's a good
good.
point.
I'm like, come on, man.
Greetings and
There we go.
salutations, nerds around the world. Welcome. That was better. It was a better take. Okay, there we go. A lot of
We're
stuff.
keeping it in.
Bunch
This is
of
a whole Rocky motor. First of all, don't do that. That's gonna be bad for videos.
well, what?
Second of all, I am the Paulie to your Rocky. Come on, you garbage! You gotta get up. You gotta fight. You gotta nerd
Well,
out.
I should be very excited. I should be very excited because in just a few days, was it on Tuesday, we get the release of Madam Web. So we should be way excited
Oh my
on
God!
Netflix.
Really?
Oh man, woo! Set the reminders on Netflix. Put on your list.
And by the way, you'll appreciate this story. I was offered a free digital copy of it, and I said no.
That's how you hold your ground. That's how you do it, folks. No compromising, man.
Uh,
So we pay for Netflix, you might as well use it, even
exactly.
if it is a Madam Web, for Christ's sake. So I'll give my
That's why I saw
chance.
Morbius. I waited until there
No,
was
yeah,
nothing
I
else to
wish I would have
watch.
waited. But yeah, so we had a chance to finally see Madam Web, and so did you guys for the 10 people on each side. So, and there you go. But there's actually a lot of interesting a lot of rumors. Not a few rumors. Some kind of much to do about nothing stories that we should bring up because people like to
There's
make
some
us think about
reveals.
anything. Some reviews, a lot of mixtures today. And of course, we got a little X-Men, which we're excited to dive into.
Oh,
We should be. You guys should be. But let's stick with Sony. Besides the good news in Madam Web, we got even more good news coming out of
do
Sony
we now?
because they have gifted us with a delay of Kraven, so we can wait even longer and have to suffer as early as you normally would have in
Well,
August.
first of all, I will say Sony knows how to make money. All right, and I'll give Sony this: they don't know how to make a movie, but they know how to make money. They realize that Kraven 3 is going to be so bad it would hurt their chances with Venom 3. So like, let's do Venom 3 first, and then once we garbage the bed with Venom 3, whatever dummy still trusts us, let them get punched in the throat with Kraven. It'll be
Oh,
fine.
okay. God, I can't say I'm surprised. I guess there was some maneuvering to do with some of the scheduling, whatever. But I think it's going to be a December release, which is even more odd. Because this doesn't strike me as a December kind of film per se, and you might just dump it in February or January of next year because this is gonna stink, dude. Let's be honest, dude.
I mean,
Come on,
how?
let's.
Here's the thing: the amount of money Craven makes will be, let's be honest, will be directly related to what Venom 3 does. If Venom 3 is decent, Craven might have a decent opening. But
Maybe
if
who
Craven 3
knows?
completely drops the ball,
Venom.
if Venom 3 drops the ball, Craven is beyond dead in the water.
Oh no, yeah, no doubt. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll raise the possibilities of more money for Craven if it's well, but if it sucks, for sure it's gonna sink Craven. Craven's probably sunk already. Let's. I think Morbius, Man and Web did a pretty good job on that
Oh yeah,
already.
I mean, listen,
But
I'm kind of happy. Anything that tanks Sony enough that it makes them think maybe we should sell Spider-Man.
oh no, they're
Like,
never selling Spider-Man
I think they will.
because they got Spider-Verse. They're never gonna sell that.
Spider-Verse cannot save
Oh,
the entire corner.
of course, and don't get me wrong, they're still making money as Spider-Man because they just let someone else make it and they reap all the benefits.
Well, here's the thing.
So you don't have to
Once,
sell it; you can just make the money and not do any work.
I mean, let's
That's
be
smart.
honest.
That's pretty smart.
With the return of X-Men, it puts Marvel in a pretty good position. It's like, you know what? We don't need we need Spidey for the Avengers. We don't need Spidey for the X-Men.
That's
So
okay.
enjoy, and they'll tank Spider-Man. It'll
Well, listen,
bottom out.
but let's be fair, man. They've done good Spider-Man films.
Only animated. They can't do live action to save their
No,
life.
what are you talking about? The Spider-Man 2 was good. The main Spider-Man was decent. The Spider-Man 1 did really well. A lot of people like that. Not me personally, but I go by judging.
Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was garbage
Was
enough
terrible.
to
Was
bring
terrible.
to question the whole franchise.
I guess, but
And because they already got those
like
out of
this,
the
this,
way,
but this is what I
why you
always
get a
say:
sequel?
Spider-Man Two is is
Spider-Man
arguably
1 and 2 and Amazing Spider-Man 1 were the
right,
only three good
but
Spider-Mans that they did by themselves.
well, Spider-Verse is theirs too.
But that's animated. I don't put animated because
I mean,
let's be honest. That was
I will venture to say it'll be a. Most people will probably agree, or a good part would agree that Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Two is better than anything Marvel done in terms of
yeah,
Spider-Man.
it's pretty solid.
So that's what
Pretty solid.
what I'm saying. So Sony has done better with Spider-Man than Marvel himself. Let's be honest, right? That they have. It's you can argue it, but there's
No,
arguments on
I
both
will
sides,
say
right?
Spider-Verse is better than any live-action
But that's
Spider-Man
what
movie
I'm
that Marvel's done.
saying. That's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
No Way
So
Home
it's
is going to
not
be the
like, listen, I
closest
get
to.
it. I'm with you. Sony has shit the bed with a lot of stuff, but they've done good Spider-Mans and better stuff that the MCU has done with it. So to be fair, so if let's assume they stay with it, that's fine. Stay with it. There's no reason to sell, bro. No reason to sell. They have all the level. Why are they gonna give her the only thing they have? What else do they have? What else does Sony have? That's it. Are you gonna give her the only asset?
Ghostbusters.
Of course.
They
Exactly.
might be they might be buying Viacom.
Look, they make good money. You make good money by keeping Spider-Man. At the end of the day, yeah, that's what that's about. It's a business, right? Let's be fair.
Sure.
So, but either way, we know Craven's gonna not make money, so we don't have to worry about that. It may sink whatever ideas they may have in the future. I don't know, but whatever. But at least now we have to wait longer, so that's a good thing. Let's go to some interesting news because this was one of those
Interesting.
much to do about nothing, but people seem to be as
All
always.
right.
It's always anything that draws people just want to complain for the sake of complaining. We know how this works.
Absolutely.
We know how this goes. So we finally got the first official picture of Supes, right? Superman and James Gunn officially releasing the photo, so it's legit, right?
Yeah.
Um, people were just like, it's just so much, a lot of hate. I don't get it. I'm not saying I love the thing. I'm not saying I hate it. Just okay, it's a picture. Who cares? At the end, it's not that big a deal. But people making it a big deal. Is it a big
Okay,
deal, dude?
so I do feel it's a big deal, but for
Okay,
all different reasons that people are saying about it.
fair enough.
First of all, I love this photo, and I'll tell you why.
It's a cool photo.
What a way to let the people know this Superman movie is going to be about the man and not the super. Because what is more human than quiet quitting while your city is being attacked?
He's like, I'm out.
I mean, that is a Superman that's like, I am off the clock, guys.
It's the weekend, baby.
He has
It's
a
middle
look
time.
like, haven't I done enough? I don't get paid enough. All right, I'll do it. So there's a begrudging earnest to like, I'm tired, but I know I got to do this. So here we go. I love that because it's not dour Snyder like, oh, why must I? It's more like, oh, don't I get a break? Like that sort of overwhelmingness. And he's not, notice, Solaris, the alien living sun being, is attacking Metropolis, and he's annoyed. Like, oh, come on, the show's on. I don't want to have to watch this. Like, it's bothers. I love that. He's not angry. He's not conflicted. He's just like, all right.
He's upset because he's about to get an early copy of Man of Web, and now he can't watch it.
Maybe
like,
that's
oh
it.
my god, come
But
on, guys.
He would be happier. Like, I gotta go. Like, that's what I would have done. I'm like, I'm gonna go fight the sun alien Solaris. Forget about you. I'm out. But here's the thing. I thought it was great. It's what better way to show you're doing something different, Superman, than focus on just a dude putting on his boots.
Yeah,
like,
it's simple.
Tired,
we don't know if the whole picture, it could be a stage picture. So I'm not Solaris. I might not be in the movie at all. I think he just kind of set it up that way from what I hear.
Just to let you know,
perhaps, maybe.
All-Star Superman, which he did say he's basing the movie off of, Solaris is the big bad, and he does team up with Lex Luthor.
Okay.
So he might be just that. So
that's possible. If again, because I'm not sure what's.
No one knows. All we know is
right?
That's it.
Right. So we know the suit's legit, obviously.
Right.
And it looks cool. I mean, I'm not blown away, but I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's cool. He's got the undies back,
Yeah.
So, all right. Listen,
I'm not a big fan of the underwear, but you know what? Listen.
Agreed. I'm with you there, but let's see it in action. It's a picture. I mean,
yeah.
Can we give it a shot here, for Christ's sake? I mean, God.
I will say this. I kind of like the idea. I've never been a fan of the. When I was a kid, I thought the Speedo under was fine. Sure. But as I'm older now, as a man of experience and maturity, I kind of like the idea of maybe having it not be under, but maybe like shorts. Like I think the idea of like shorts will look kind of cool.
Oh,
Like
I
not
don't
like
know if that
you
will
know
work.
I'll send you some art. There's like
Okay.
there's been subtle change where instead of like the speedo effect where it kind of goes into
Oh, I see what you're
you see
saying.
what I mean? Like
Okay.
it's
Okay.
almost like a boxer brief kind of look
That's
that
exactly what I
go
was gonna tell you. Talking about briefs, like boxer briefs.
right
Okay.
boxer
All
brief
right.
shorts.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
different. Yeah. I think like shorts. Like, nah. I'm thinking.
No, 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 like boxer
Okay.
briefs. If they went
Gotcha.
with
Gotcha.
that, I'd be more open
Okay.
to it. And
That's
it's not even like a latent uncomfortability with homosexuality. Listen, we're all on a
no.
spectrum. It's just the idea of like I don't like the. I almost feel like the speedo effect. Uh, what better way to remind people like this dude's a dude by making just this one color become right around his banana hammock. And so if you have like the short aspect of it, the boxer brief of it, you're like, oh, okay, like this is just like to break up the
A
which
little more
and
modern.
what better way to kind of show a man has fashion sense? Like we need something to break up the color here. So you have shorts of an opposite color. It works in many levels. Shows he's versatile. I'm up for it.
Yeah. And, yeah. Listen, it's fine. And the other thing I noticed was because I heard this suit's not. Some of the people wear suits and it's enhanced like a Batman with the muscles. I heard his own
Right.
natural. So this guy got ripped, which is good.
Well, we
He's
talked
supposed to.
about that,
Yeah,
and
he needed
from
to, and he did. So that's good. But
well,
yeah,
he had the height with him, and if you're like
he
a
did.
tall dude, I
He did
feel like
that.
you can bulk up pretty easy.
Exactly. Most people can bulk up. Yeah, there are ways of doing it. Just ask Hugh
Right,
Jackman
right,
does it every 6 years. And does
sure.
Logan. But yeah, but he looks good. And like I said, it's not suit enhanced. That's
That's
pure
pretty
muscle,
sweet too. So
natural
it's
muscle.
not a Shazam situation. It's
Correct.
literally like
Correct.
this
Yeah.
dude's literally
It's him.
got the built in, right?
Yeah, so that's good. So that's a good thing. But yeah, so I think people complain about everything. Dude, it's not that big a deal. It's a
How
suit.
many times? Listen,
God.
listen. You complained about Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is the best Batman. You complained about Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger's the best Joker. People got excited about what's his name playing Joker, and he ended up Morbiusing Joker as well. So maybe what you're excited about it isn't that great, and what you hate turns out to be awesome. Just
Yeah.
give it a minute.
Give it a sec. Watch it in motion, and then if it sucks in motion and in the trailer, then fair enough. That's
To
fine.
quote the
Yeah.
kids, let them cook.
Exactly. He's just getting ingredients ready. Hasn't he turned on the stove for Christ's sake? But let's move over to the MCU because the rest of the show's MCU focus. There's a lot of rumors and true stuff here mixed in. It's good things to talk about. We'll start with one that we knew was coming. We've been championing for, and it's like they listened to us, and that's that Bob Iger had his stockholder meeting, whatever crap he does, and
Sure.
they talk about the future of MCU and all that, and they talk about the release schedules in terms of what they plan to do moving forward, which is what you and I've been saying for a while, and that's scaling back, which they did say, but now we know exactly what he means by scaling back. So he pretty much said this: they're going to limit it to 2, maybe 3, but focusing on the 2 films and 2 shows a year.
That
That is
sounds great.
exactly what we're saying. Exactly what they need to go back to scale back down.
Uh-huh.
And then even if it's 3, they said at times it'd be 3. That's fine. We can live with that. Maybe it's a big film at the end of the year, Avengers, or
Yeah,
whatever.
I think the third
Yeah.
would always gonna be like a team film or something
Right, or
like
something
that.
like
Yeah.
that, or whatever. They got a lot of stuff in the pipeline. Fair enough. But the goal is to have 2 and 2. I
Right.
think that's a perfect mixture, as long as they do it well, of course. Nothing that makes perfect sense, which means we don't see Blade for another 6 years because they're not releasing 4 movies next year. I think they got 3 already in the slate for next year already. I think. If it's was that no Fantastic Four is the year after that? Was that next year? The next year they have.
Fantastic Four is gonna be next year.
Oh, it is next year. Okay, we had that, and I forgot what else they had scheduled. I know Blade was one of them, but we knew that wasn't going to happen. But either way, so 2 and 2, I think this is great, man. This is exactly what we need to go back to.
Yeah.
Make it special events, movies we want to go see, not get bored of or
That's what I'm
fatigued
saying.
or what. I mean, as long as they're good, of course.
You're not rushing. You're not trying to fill a mandate. You're not doing an obligation. You're like,
Yeah.
what do we really want to tell? What's the best way to tell it? That's it.
And that exactly. So that's very good news. I like that a lot. On the more rumor side, now this is a fun one because this rumor has been kind of catching steam, and it's just a rumor. It has not been reported by any major trade or whatever. People heard something from somebody, for whatever that's worth. But The Rock, the ketchup, is coming to the MCU, and MCU needs a little ketchup these days. So there's a lot of rumors with Dwayne Johnson, who has been rumored or cast or whatever, being looked at, eyed for a role in the MCU. That role being Apocalypse from the X-Men.
I mean, I mean,
This is pure rumor. It's just
I mean, listen.
this seems
Okay,
far
look.
fetched.
First of all,
This seems far
I've
fetched.
heard so many Marvel rumors. I've heard. We both heard Henry Cavill's going to be a Wolverine variant.
Of
We've
course, yeah.
I There's a rumor out there right now that Ben Affleck's going to be Doctor Doom. Like, there's a lot of rumors out there.
And those are more plausible. But yeah, I'm sure Deadpool's going to throw a lot of little cameos and wink at the audience. I'm
Right.
pretty sure. I'm fine with that. And there are some big names from what I hear going to appear in that film. But that's
Yeah, I heard they're doing reshoots right now, putting extra cameos, which is all I'm all for it. That's great.
it depends. Again, I'm not a big cameo for the sake of cameo kind of guy. You know, I like a cameo
I
that,
I,
for
I always
reasons.
feel
You know,
like if with Deadpool,
I know
because it's
Deadpool's
the
a
only
different
movie,
beast, but
right? I feel like
and I get
if
it. I
there's
get it.
ever a movie where it's cool to do cameos, it's this movie because it's the one movie.
Right, and that's fair. But yeah, so the way I mean, first of all, this I don't think this is true at all because I don't think they're anywhere near creating anything for the X-Men yet, much less Apocalypse. Right? That seems more like
Well,
a much down the road, like years and
I
years away
I
from
I,
that.
I actually disagree. I feel like because the X-Men are coming back and the cartoon series is clearly showing there is an affinity for all the that is X-Men. They're like, listen, we've done Magneto. We did Magneto in the movies. We're doing Magneto in this season 97. We're done Magneto. So let's do different. And the two villains that they haven't really focused at all is Mr. Sinister, nowhere in the movies, referenced by name,
Sure.
never appeared, and he had a crappy Apocalypse. So you can literally start off the X-Men with a Mr. Sinister Apocalypse combo.
I can just see Mrs. Sinister, but not both. And Apocalypse is later on, and I know there's connections with Kang with Apocalypse. They knew each other in
There
Egypt,
is
whatever.
Apocalypse has
So
connection with
you know
Kang.
it's
It works.
possible, but
And
I don't think that's gonna happen. But
and eight Apocalypse made Mr. Sinister.
sure, I mean, listen,
So it's all there.
it's there.
And
It's just for
and
me.
listen,
I know Magneto's been done to death, but it's like Joker. You start with the Joker, or you put him in the second film.
I feel like
You have to.
I almost
Magneto is a staple of that. Like it's like Lex Luthor. I didn't want to say Lex Luthor, but you put him in there, and I understand why. Same thing with
but
Magneto.
to be fair, they've never really done Lex Luthor great. There's been fun, but there hasn't been great. And put it this way, Joker. Let's give Joker an example. The Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, Joker's in there, but he's already in jail. Do that with Magneto. Have him already be imprisoned. Like that was their first. Like acknowledge that they had a big fight with Magneto. They saved the world. He's in jail. But and almost do
I
like
don't know, because for me, again, it goes back to the essence of X-Men, right? And the
I think you have that
ideologies,
essence.
the ideologies of both guys of Professor X and Magneto going together for and against each other. That's the essence of X-Men. You take Magneto away, you're literally which makes sense why they're doing it, because if they are, which is what I'm saying, they can't get the X-Men right and go in a different direction. Just proves my theory they're not going to get the X-Men right, because you can't start off with Apocalypse. It does not work. You
Oh
have
no,
to,
no. I think the first movie you do Mr. Sinister, but
right,
you
which is
reveal.
why it goes back to I don't think this rumor is true, because I don't think they're anywhere near. That's what I'm saying, right? They're nowhere near Apocalypse. They're nowhere.
I think
And
they
to
are because
cast them,
I feel like they're going to be doing the opposite of Star Wars, which is like let's plan this trilogy out. Like let's not just
oh no, they have to
right now
plan this. Yeah.
Marvel is learning from the animated series. When we plan things out, we can make it awesome. We don't have to
Okay.
make it up as we go along.
But they're still years away from X-Men to begin with. We're not
I
seeing
think
X-Men.
they're working on X-Men now.
They're
Like
not working on X-Men now.
on they're taking pitches for it right now.
They're not doing anything to do with X-Men for at least their focus is the Avengers, and God forbid they mix an X-Men with that. That'd be a disaster.
I agree. A lot of people are pitching X-Men versus Avengers as one of the Avenger film. Like, no, don't do that.
That's what I'm saying. So we're looking about an Avengers like 2027, 28. So we're looking at 29, 30, 3, 4. Dude, that's 6 years away. 2, 3, 4. That's what I'm saying. We're too far away to really seeing a true first. We may see some X-Men here and there, no doubt. In terms of a pure X-Men film, we are years away from that. And there's no way they're casting Apocalypse for a movie, which he won't show up in the first film. So now that's 4 or 5 years for the next film, and another 3 years for the next. That's 7, 8 years ahead. They're not casting a rock who's above 50. It's not happening. It's not.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. It's what I'm saying. I just don't see that happening for a lot of reasons.
Well,
it would be cool. Don't get me wrong.
Way.
Listen, I love me some Rock and bring him on, no doubt.
Well, I will say this: in The Rock's defense, Apocalypse is such a CG heavy character. He's an armor suit.
It is.
He could let himself casually. He could be in decent shape and still be
Well, The Rock's going
Apocalypse.
to be in shape because he's The Rock.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
So
listen, like I said, I'm all for that. You know me, man. Put Rock in
he could
anything.
be
It's all
in his
good.
60s, and he's going to be in
It's,
great
this,
Apocalypse shape.
he'll be 80s and forget it. He have his own Netflix show like Arnold Schwarzenegger does.
That's what I'm saying.
No doubt. But listen, but as far as this particular rumor, I don't think that's true. I mean, it's a cool thing to kind of fantasize about and discuss. Oh, The Rock and whatever. I mean, I'm sure he can play a lot of characters.
Do you remember back in the day, The Rock was also in contention to play Namor, the Submariner?
Oh my God, yeah, that was way back. But
I
yeah,
would have,
yeah.
I would have loved like
Of
Rock
course I would.
circa the Rundown. That would have
Yes.
been the best
That would have been
Namor.
this. Like I said, The Rock now to replace Namor with this guy or Dwayne Johnson, dude. I'm all for it, dude. Put him with Professor X, dude. He's got a shaved head. It's all good, dude.
Maybe that's one of the cameos in Deadpool. Rock shows up as Namor as the variant.
If he shows up Apocalypse in that, then I'm okay with it. That makes sense.
Right, that works too.
That works,
works
right? That
too.
works. A cameo, a joke, that works. But we'll see Deadpool soon enough. The next one here, and this is kind of rumor, but not really, I guess. Parts rumor. First, the fact that Chris Evans, right? Talking about Chris Evans, Captain America, who apparently has signed on to come back in a certain capacity. I'm not saying it's coming back as a full-time whatever, right, for the MCU.
Right.
So that could mean a lot of different things. And this is where the speculation comes into play, right? So he's showing up again. Now there's not maybe Deadpool, right? I don't know, maybe. That will make sense. But okay, is he coming back as Captain America, a variant of him and Secret Wars or whatever, which is kind of likely, I guess. If he's coming back, I don't think he's come back as somebody else. I don't know, maybe he is. It'd be kind of cool to see if it was a different character.
Well,
Once
again,
I'll ask you, man.
time to Nerdsplain a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's rumors he's going to show up as Johnny Storm in Deadpool. But one of the other characters that was really controversial in comics at the time, mostly during the Trump administration, so it made everyone feel icky and gooey, they revealed that Captain America was secretly a Hydra agent working for Red Skull the whole time. Right. And then he took over America, and it was a storyline called Secret Empire. And they could do Hydra Cap as one of the variants. And that would be a fun way to get Chris Evans in, have him do a movie, maybe two, and still get that whole like, oh, he's there, but he's not what you think he is.
Exactly.
That'd be kind of fun.
Because I don't think he's not going to be Captain America as we know it. Obviously, I don't think there's any discussion. Maybe
do old man Cap, and he doesn't have to get.
I mean, if he shows up like an old man as like he's as a consultant or something like that, I guess like a Nick Fury.
No, I'm talking old man from Endgame. Like have him just walk.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if he can come back as that, but be a consultant to the Avengers or like a Nick Fury kind of role.
Sure, like a tactician, like just a guy who puts the strap. Literally the old man in the chair.
Yeah, it's like a little pep talk. All right, I can see that. But I don't think that's gonna happen. But I'm saying he's not coming back as Captain America. Anybody who thinks that, let that dream go. As a variant of such, yes.
There's only one time Chris Evans will show up as Captain America, and that'll be at Secret Wars in the third act where they do their version of the portal scene. That's when he shows up. Right. If you're going to lose their goddamn mind, oh, he's back!
But that would be a variant of him. It wouldn't be the exact. Which is fine. Like, that's the only we see him. But he had, all things considered, he has signed. So we're going to see him at some capacity at some point.
Good for him.
I'm just waiting for the Robert Downey Jr. news that he's going to sign.
You and Robert have been missed. If you could just help Chris Hemsworth do a good Thor 5, we'll be very excited.
Yeah, they've been missed dearly. They really have.
They really have, man.
So I want one of those guys back. An interesting one. This is which was rumor for a long time, but now has become fact. And that is Giancarlo Esposito, of course, who we've seen him in everything these days. He's been all over the damn place, and he should because he's that good. He's officially now going to be in the MCU in a particular role. I don't think they've announced it, but they said
they have not.
They have not the exact role, but it's not going to be where everyone thinks it's going to be.
He said it's not Xavier.
It's not Xavier. It's not Magneto. So let that go. But it's going to be a character which we haven't seen. He says a new character. I think what he meant was like a new character to the MCU currently.
Right. That's what I thought.
Right. Not a brand new they just created.
Right. It's not a reboot character. It's the first appearance of this character in the MCU.
Right. Whether it be X-Men or whatever. But
I do have certain ideas.
Well, the one that I've been hearing about is Galactus, which I think will be a waste. Personally, I love his voice.
Too. I kind of want Javier Bardem to be Galactus.
Correct. Yeah, let him do that. But I want to see Esposito on screen, right? His face.
Okay. When I heard Esposito saying he's in the Marvel Universe sooner rather than later, first I thought Fantastic Four, but I didn't think Galactus. I thought first off, Mole Man.
Okay.
Remember, he lives underground, and like, usually Mole Man is a fat, nebbishly, grotesque looking dude, but he controls these giant monsters and the Moloids. So you could do a reverse on the Mole Man. Instead of him being like, "I'm the Mole Man," he's like, "Yes, I'm the Mole Man. I brought order upon chaos." Like, and he goes, "Now I bring my order to the world." Like, that'd be a fun way to do that. Another thing, I kind of wouldn't mind seeing him as Mr. Sinister.
That I'm with you 100%. That will make sense. I think that would be great.
Right? Wouldn't that be
It really
awesome?
would. It really would be. And who knows? I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's Fantastic Four. I don't think he's in that. 'Cause I think we would have heard that casting much earlier. I think personally.
And here's what I say about that, because he said it'll be a new character. We haven't seen Mr. Sinister yet at all.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
think of it this way: there's a line in last week's episode of the X-Men when Mr. Sinister goes, "I knew Mangla. He was going to be, he had such potential, but decided to be a pathetic Nazi pig." And I was like, imagine Esposito saying, "Oh, I knew Mangla, but he was going to be just a Nazi."
Oh, that'd be great. His deliveries would be pitch perfect. This is like a legit. He's gonna come. You know, this is not Chris Evans. We don't know. We know he's coming for sure, guaranteed. Sure. Yeah, man, but Sinister's a good choice. I guess I'm really hoping it's not Galactus. I really hope not.
I don't want Galactus.
That's a waste, man. That's a total waste.
I'd love to see him be a villain, but
yes,
he
correct.
could also be a hero. But if it is a hero, you know what I kind of wouldn't mind him being either. Somebody who works with Blade, like, you know, Whistler used to make Blade his weapons. What if he was
if he's a Whistler
the new Blade Whistler, right? Whatever that version is.
Before, so that technically is a character we see.
No, but whatever, because Whistler had a minor. Whistler was never that in the comics. They made him that in the movie. Okay. So have him be Blade's weapon guy.
That could be interesting. I wouldn't mind that. I prefer the villain because he's just so good at it. I get it. I mean, he'd elevate everybody around him, right, including the hero. He just would.
Absolutely,
no doubt. Right?
Have you seen The Gentleman? He's great. He's great villain in The Gentleman.
He's just so good. So this is really good news. Really, I mean, Professor X would have been a great choice. I think we all.
It would have been.
Everybody was fan casting that.
Choice. It would have been fun as Professor X.
I'm good choice. Good choice for X. Better choice for Magneto. Is what I meant.
Once again, I don't think it'd be good Magneto.
I think it'd be really good Magneto, and particularly, yeah.
No.
Because you can him, particularly with the race factor, and that being such a big thing about X-Men. Okay, since the whole Holocaust is pretty far back, going more on the race issue, it would make more sense to put him as Magneto.
Listen, I get everything you're saying. You're just wrong. I want somebody to me. If you're going to do Magneto, you need to get somebody, not this guy, but on the level of like a Denzel Washington, somebody that's got a little bit of oomph to it. And for a Magneto, because Magneto is cool, calm, but when he gets, that's when it's like
Dwayne Johnson. That's what I'm saying, baby. Bring him on. He can play all the X-Men. He'd be like Eddie Murphy and Nutty Professor. Just put him in everything. Like Eddie Murphy with the MCU. Right. How awesome would that be? Oh my god.
He can say Hercules because Hercules showed up in the Thor movie.
There you go. So it's all tied in, baby. We got this rolling. Speaking of X-Men, let's stay with the X-Men because, of course, listen, a couple episodes of X-Men 97 have gone and passed since you and I have spoken about this. And man, things it's gone bonkers. It really has. And
let me just say, as I was watching this series, so many things came to my mind I couldn't believe. First of all, Sunspot joins Magneto. Why do you got to make the Brazilian join the bad side? Why? You got a Brazilian and a Jewish guy and a chick from the South being the bad guys? That I feel
how stereotypical, you know what I'm saying?
Unfair. Seriously, I'm a little bit offended on so many levels. How dare you?
I didn't think about that piece of, but now you're right. They're taking the lone Latino character and they're making him a villain, of course.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I don't like any of this.
Fair.
This is all bad stuff.
You're right.
Not good.
You're right. I didn't even catch that. That's a good catch.
Yeah, I saw that. I was very disappointed.
That's a good catch.
I love the fact that they put a majority of the team in their original late 70s, early 80s costumes. They got Wolverine in the orange or brown, which is my favorite costume. They gave Cyclops with the yellow boxer briefs. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about? They gave him that
Sticking
too.
briefs,
They
yeah.
gave Jay. And by the way, here's I gotta point this out. That made me just get extra giddy. There's a heroic shot of the hero, the X-Men walking to the plains, and I was like, oh my god, Cyclops, Storm, Nightcrawler, and Wolverine are all dressed in the same costumes they wore when the X-Men, the Pride of the X-Men, the 1984 pilot aired. They put them in those costumes. Don't think I didn't see you do that. I saw you do that, and I appreciate the reference. I like it. If you could have had Dazzler and Colossus in there, it would have been perfect. But we couldn't. I understand. But you had Nightcrawler. That's 4 out of 6. I'm in.
They've been
Thank
nailing.
you so
And speaking
much.
of Nightcrawler had two great moments, one each episode. Since you mentioned them,
Last week's episode with Wolverine and Nightcrawler kicking ass
yeah, when he
was
said I
amazing.
got 6 reasons and I have 9, and he put up the swords, whatever.
Oh, and
Yeah.
the
Great
double
line.
entendre with the 9 being
Th-
no for German. I was like, oh my
that
god,
was
this
a
is
great
great.
line. And then this week's episode, I gotta say, because I don't think there's any more relatable character to us than Nightcrawler. The laziest motherfucker in the world. We can all relate because Nightcrawler is so fucking lazy. He's sitting right next to, what's her face? Rogues. He wakes up
Rogue.
out of bed. He's sitting 5 feet away in a chair. Needs to wake up. Can't just get up and walk 3 steps and sit down. He has to teleport himself. It's ridiculous, and I love it because we will
Excuse
all
me.
do the same
Excuse
thing
me.
as
How
fat,
dare
lazy
you? Did
bastards
you
that
not
we
see
are.
what he did last episode? That dude is tired. He's not
We
lazy.
listen.
He is
I'm not
tired.
hating. Believe me, we would do the exact same thing because that's where. Fuck that! I'm gonna tell him I can't walk 5 steps. Come on, man.
I'm
How
here
could you
for
not
that.
love it?
If I was Nightcrawler, I'd be teleporting from the bed to the bathroom.
That's
without
what I'm
missing a beat.
saying.
That's what I
That's
would do.
exactly.
Because I'm like, it's like walking.
That
It is a
is
muscle I
the
have to
more, yeah,
flex to make it
the
work.
more
How
relatable
dare you?
action by any X-Men in the history of X-Men and all the films and court. That's us. That's us right there. And like, 5 feet, nah, teleport.
Also,
It's perfect.
before a big fight, you're
Perfect.
praying your ass off. Please don't let me die. Don't let my friends die. We gotta get to this thing. It's gonna be so bad. Oh God, please. I got it. I feel for it.
No.
That all being said, everyone had some great moments. The whole line between Storm and Jean Grey, make them mind your weather, let them weather your mind.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's
oh,
cool. Yeah,
mwah,
that's really cool.
chef's kiss,
Yeah.
incredible. Now,
Uh-oh.
the fight scene
Okay.
on Asteroid M. As they were going through it, I was like, this is feeling vaguely familiar
Oh, okay. I know where you're going with this.
to one of my most favorite comic book scenes ever. And I thought, there's a part where Xavier takes over Magneto's mind. Oh, wait a minute. Before, pull back. Everyone's talked about this. I saw it on the trailer that they aired last night, and I got giddy for it,
Okay.
which is when Cyclops gives Cable his X-Men uniform, which, by the way, is comic accurate when Cable officially does join the X-Men to embrace being part of the X-Men team and not trying so hard to fight to make changes that he thinks the world needs. And Cable goes, why am I dressing up in this and to the circus outfit? He's like, what do you expect? Black leather?
Yeah.
Oh, chef's kiss.
Yeah, no, I caught it. I was like, oh my God, that was kind of funny.
I giggled like a girl who just got called pretty. I was all about it. But now jump to the end. Asteroid M fight. Xavier is taking over Magneto's mind to fix the polar magnets, the polarity of the magnets on Earth. And I thought, ooh, if this goes the way I think it is, they might be leaning towards. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people, a lot of speculators, a lot of reactors have been talking about like, oh, we think season 2 is going to be about Hope or Hope Summers as she eventually becomes. And I'm like, no, because you can't do Hope Summers without doing the House of M, no more mutants. You have to decimate mutants so you can bring in Hope Summers as the first mutant birth to its re-kickstarting mutants being born again. The Genosha massacre is not enough because they're still being born. You need a House of M, so no one's going to do Hope Summers, you bunch of morons. But when Magneto was being taken over by Xavier, I was like, they could be doing Onslaught. Onslaught is an entity that was created from all of Xavier's powers, and every dark thought that everyone has, he pushes down. But in the storyline, he wiped out Magneto's mind. He couldn't kill Magneto, but he wiped him out into basically a drooling vegetable state. And all the anger and rage and psychosis that he pushed out got basically fingerprinted onto Xavier. And that combination in his subconscious started to form the entity of of Onslaught. That this basically said mutants need to take over the world. Every human sucks, but only the strong mutants. So I'm going to kill every weak mutant and every human and every superhero and leave only the strongest. So almost like a crazy version of Apocalypse. Right. That's what he was going to be. But I'm watching this going, and then, Cyclops blasts Xavier's chair and says no, because Jean's team hasn't done it yet. I'm like, oh, okay. And then Magneto throws his helmet onto Xavier to block his telepathy. I was like, oh, whew, they almost did it. But that would have been comedy accurate anyway, because the only reason Xavier would be that mad is if Wolverine tried to kill Magneto, and Magneto retaliated by, and as soon as I was thinking that, there's that scene where Wolverine's claws pop out through Magneto. And then Magneto pushes him back. And I'm like, no, they're not going to do it. And from X-Men number 25, during the Fatal Attraction storyline, Magneto rips the adamantium out of Wolverine.
It's a famous comic, that one. People know that one.
It is not my famous comic. That scene you see is a point-by-point perfect recreation of the panel, which I was like, I literally, my eyes got watered. I was like, oh, they're doing it.
I was wondering, the whole time I was wondering, are they going to go that route?
And so many fun, weird storylines came out of it. You had Onslaught. That's how Wolverine discovers he's got bone claws. It eventually makes Wolverine mutate into like a half animal beast with no nose. It's weird. Not everything in comics is cool. Some of it just happens. You have to accept it and move on. But overall, it was a really great storyline to see Wolverine go through. And I was both elated and excited and surprised and so filled with like all the possibilities that come next, where in Asteroid M, Wolverine is essentially dying because getting the adamantium ripped out of his body it takes his healing factor to the breaking point, to the point that in comics, Wolverine went like almost a year and a half, 2 years with literally no healing factor. Like if you stabbed him, he would just heal like a human being. Like he had to get stitches and everything because his body was been pushed to the max. So you have that, but on Earth, you have Bastard and Mr. Sinister looking like they're about to take out the whole X-Men team. What a great way to end an episode with so much, oh my God, what's going to happen next? I literally, in my brain, when I saw Wolverine stab Magneto, I go, oh, they're going to stop it here. They're going to save the bone thing for next week. And they went, no, we're ending it with the bone. I was like, oh, damn, beautiful. All right, so good.
It does make me wonder. It's like I don't know what the issue with the MCU is, and not aiming for the head. I don't get it. Wolverine stabs him in the weakest part of the chest. You got the heart there.
That's where his heart is. That's not the weakest part.
He hit the wrong side. He didn't get him on the last. He got him on the right side. Not the same thing. The heart's over here. So and then you can head, dude. Head. I don't understand, dude. I mean, come on.
Here's the thing.
Did we not learn from Thor, dude?
Listen,
we not learn this
only
lesson?
Reason I didn't do head is because you're my boss's friend.
You're killing me, what does it matter? He's slicing and dicing
me
anyway.
This is a courtesy murder.
just saying, dude. There was a way of going about it. I'm just saying.
Serves
you right. Serves you right.
Clearly, this is what happened because this happened in 1997. They haven't watched Endgame yet.
That's what they know. But then Thor should have learned from that lesson. Thor should have figured it out. But no. Jokes. It was just. This finale is gonna be great. It's lining up to be perfect. I hope that I don't want to. What do you call that?
Overhype.
Not overhype, but what's the word? Cliffhanger is too much with this. I want to see some resolution to some degree. On this one.
Yeah, you got to do a resolution with just like one or two.
I don't want to see cliffhanger before it gets. I don't want to see that. I hope they don't go that route because it's only 30 minutes, so it's only so much you could do, right? In 30 minutes.
No, but they've done so much.
They've done a great job of what they have, but now wrapping it up, whatever. Not all the confidence in the world they do it. Just don't want to go a certain route. I can't
Sure.
wait. And look, I mean, yeah, this episode was bonkers, man. It was like, man, it was so much. They packed so much in 30 minutes. I don't understand what. And this is like example, like you take the MCU show in 30 minutes, and what they don't do, what this show does in 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't do a lot in 30 minutes. I prefer a
I
longer, but not for animation. I get it, but I prefer longer. But still, you can still pack
I
in,
will
pack
say
it in.
I will say one thing. This episode would have gone completely differently if Magneto would have come back to Xavier and goes, "We're gonna kill Bastion, and then you and me are gonna have words." That would have been a
That would
very
have been cool
different
too. That
episode.
would have been cool too. Don't get me wrong.
That would have been cool too,
That
man.
would I
In
would have
fact,
dug it.
I think the Bastion would have been like they probably had to do it because like, oh, if Magneto comes after Bastion hard, he'll take him out
Oh
like
no,
in
he'd
20
take it. Yeah, it'd
minutes.
be almost. Yeah, it's like almost like
Yeah,
Wolverine fighting Magneto. At the end of the day, we know it. It's just come
exactly,
on.
exactly. So you had to split it,
Right,
and
I
I was
get
like,
it.
it's a
I get it.
smart way to make it last longer.
Right.
But at the same time, I kind of would have liked Magneto going first. We're gonna kill Bastion, and afterwards, you and me are talking. Like,
Well, it's surprised he didn't do that anyway. But whatever, it is what it is. It's fine.
oh well, he was very weak, and he didn't want to get anyone
That's fair.
interfering. That's why he did
That's
what
fair.
he did.
Like I
So,
said, they did it in a good way. Like, they didn't.
right.
It made sense. But yeah, they could have gone other way. I've been totally fine with this.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this. It sucks. It's the last one. It's like damn it, it's over. Like shit. Now there's nothing else.
Well, you know what's gonna happen is gonna be then you get to watch from episode 1 to episode 10 and just
Listen,
binge
if you
all
get
of
a
it
week or
together.
two
You're
off,
like, that's the show.
we could swap it for the big June hits in June. It's just like tons of stuff, big stuff coming out in June. So whatever. So trust me, there's plenty to watch either way. But that being said, it was a great episode, great series. Absolutely, I hope it just bring it home. You know, stick the landing, which we always talk about. Hit the landing.
God, you know
And we're
what?
good.
Every episode has been so good. Even episode 4, the Motendo, I enjoyed
That was
that
a fun
episode
episode. It
too.
wasn't like
Everything's
like
been
the others,
so
but it was
good.
It's still a fun episode. Yeah.
That I'm like, I can't see them not sticking the landing.
they're going to stick it, but
Right.
just you know how it is.
I know. My only problem is I'm gonna be really greedy and spoiled, and I'm gonna be like, could you just squeeze an extra 5 more minutes? Like it's gonna be just the most pettiest of complaints.
Could you imagine you go on there and it shows 23 minutes? I might be mad as fuck.
Oh my god! I would be like, don't you Moon Knight me?
Right.
Don't you
That's
Moon
23
Knight
minutes
me?
total. And that's with not and that's counting credits and the opening theme and the
Seriously.
recap. So it's be like 20 minutes. That'd be really upsetting. I'm like, oh hell no, dude. We don't want to see that shit. Give me 38. I think 38 is a good number.
38. I mean, because
Which-
one
which-
episode is 37.
Right. So
you
look
could do
like 30,
37.
37, 38 with what 34 of actual show. That
Sure.
works perfectly for me. So let's see we'll dive into that. Obviously, 'cause I'm excited to see how this thing ends and where it leads off. You know, season 2 is coming, obviously. But all that being said, with that, we leave the Nuggets for the week.
Guys, that has been the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all the love support you give us. Don't forget to like and subscribe here on YouTube on the Latin Nerd Network, where you can watch shows like Nerdsplaining and The Watch List and Thanos' Choice and other shows coming along as well. If you'd like to listen to our audio episodes, go to ericdasilva.com, ERICDASILVA. While you're there, don't forget to pick up my album, Adorably Offensive. I'm working on a new hour right now. In fact, I'm going to be in Cummings, Georgia, June 1st, so come check it out and see the new stuff I'm working out there if you happen to be living in the area. Don't forget, you can also check out my comic book, Danger Squad, at dangersquad.com. We got some big announcements coming for the summer. I can't say much about it, but me and Jose will be talking before the show. A lot of cool stuff, so keep going there. Hit the mailing list. Get ready to get the announcements, all the fun stuff right there. Really appreciate it as well. Guys, as always, I've been Eric Da Silva. This has been Jose Romero. We have been Nerdsplaining. If you don't know, now you know.
Peace.
Boom.